What is up, everyone? Happy Tuesday from Wekiva Falls RV Resort in sunny and warm Florida. I've been here for a couple weeks now at training camp preparing for Clash Endurance in Miami. Things have been going pretty well. I did a mix it up today and did a trail run, and I'll take the mountain bike out to do my my bike workout today, just to switch up the specificity and keep things interesting, because going up and down the same trail or roads starts to get a little monotonous. So we're switching things up today. It's going to be super warm this week, so we're just here preparing for Clash Miami. Things are going really well. I've had the new speed concept for just about a month now. I've done some proper miles on it, and now I'm going to offer my review. My first impressions of the bike are that it is fast. It is very snappy, responsive. You can feel how stiff it is. I've obviously made some changes to the stock items that come with it by adding a 5441 front red SRAM chainring with the red oversized derailleur, and on the rear I have an oversized ceramic derailleur and pulley, and right now we have the RSL 51s on there. For racing, it will be the NV 7.8s or the NV disc. I have the Cellular Watt Shop carbon watt saddle. I'm still going back and forth on that one. And then obviously up front we have E-tap. I've added sprint shifters in the horns. And the disc brakes are leaps and bounds better than my previous speed concept, which was rim brake, obviously. I've taken the big aero bottle out of the down tube, just because I don't find a use for it in training. I've added one bottle cage, and I have a rear bottle cage added to the back for bottles. So those are all the good things. Let's get to some of the not so good things. So, you know, this bike is close to my fit wise. I'm going to go see the fitter again on Thursday to get it fitted properly. My biggest gripe with this bike, especially a bike this expensive for the market, obviously I do this professionally. I'm shop sponsored but not Trek sponsored. I'm Trek shop sponsored but not Trek sponsored, which became abundantly clear recently, the difference. So as a professional, you know, you have different levels. As a professional to athlete, it continuously occurs to me that I don't feel like we necessarily get the same support as our triathlete compadres. So being 6'3", with a short torso, mostly all long arms and legs, this cockpit, if you're of that height, 6'2" above, maybe 6'1", and this cockpit is probably not going to work for you. That's just the down and dirty of it. So yes, you can move the pads in and out. You can move the bars in and out. You can change the angle to an extent, but the bars are probably going to be too short for you, height-wise. They're never going to be tall enough. There are no other options. The cockpit is proprietary. So the bars that come with it are the bars that have to go in it. You can't put your own, like I would prefer to have my 51 Speed Shop bars in there. But like with the previous bike, there's no mono plug-in to put those bars in there so that I can get my hands up to a proper height and feel locked in when I'm down in the aero position. And as a time trialer, if there's any kind of question about what you're doing, you're not going to be putting power in the pedals. You're going to be worried about, am I sitting properly in these pads? Some don't feel right. You don't want to be doing that on a 56-mile time trial course. So that's just the down and dirty of it. The bars, you can't train them in or out, which I would love to do. I'm sure other time trialers like close hands. These keep them separated, and then they're very, very short. It could have been easily remedied if they would have made them longer, so that they could have been cut down to a custom level. These bars will never fully work for me, and won't fit into my professional bike fit. So we have to figure that out. The other issue is my, and I remember this from the launch video where they said that the BTA was specific to the individual, so they didn't add it to the bike. Well, it's going to be very hard to mount a separate BTA into this cockpit with the way it's been built. I can't get mine to mount properly. The one that's supposed to mount in the cockpit is not yet available. And with the race in 3 weeks, that does sit in the back of my mind on how I'm going to remain properly hydrated and compete at a high level as a professional. There's also a proprietary computer mount that is also not available yet. So I have a Garmin mount kind of rubber banded to the crossbar of the cockpit, which I'll integrate into this video so that you can see what I'm talking about. The horns are great. You can customize them by cutting them down to whatever length. I've left them how they came out of the box, just because I have long arms and it's not really an issue. It's just really frustrating, and I imagine it'll be frustrating for you if you're of a height that requires, or you feel like you want your hands high. If you try to do that, and I bought different high-sided watch shot pads for this. Those also won't work in this cockpit, just because if I put them on, it would raise my arms up above the ends of the bars. At this point, when I'm riding it, it's creating such a tension in the back of my shoulder, just because my arms aren't placed right and they're separated, and it's not what I'm used to. If I were to put them up, I'd really be holding up to the top of the bars with my pinkies. Is there a lot of pressure going on the bars to steer? But it's still frustrating for a machine that seemingly everything aerodynamically was thought of, but something as simple as the length of the bars and the angle of the bars. I'm not sure what feedback. Obviously, I guess my feedback doesn't matter, but there's a couple different things I imagine they could have done, namely release the bike with at least another version of the bars that were maybe an S bend. Right now there's only one version of the bar. So I feel like a lot of folks are gonna be excited about the bike, and you should be. But then you're gonna find it's not gonna fit you just right. If you're used to having S bend bars, there is no way to put your bars in this cockpit. No way. So it's going to be frustrating for you. It's definitely been frustrating for me. I have a race in less than 3 weeks. My first race, big race for Clash Endurance, and I don't feel properly locked in to a bike that right now, set aside what it was bought for, but then when you put all the other stuff into it, I mean, we're getting around 16 on a bike I'm not fully satisfied with. So it's frustrating, to say the least. If you've bought this bike outside of being a contracted athlete, drop a comment down below. Do you have the same frustrations? How have you remedied that? Is there a remedy where I can plug in? I see them on other bikes, but I haven't yet been able to find them to plug in. And even then, I don't know. I'd have to take the tower toppers off to see if that's proprietary too. But to plug in, the bar holders that have the pad stand, and I can put my own bars in there and pads. If you have something like that, drop a link down below, and I will certainly take a look at that. Obviously, I'm running out of time. I do, every time I enter a race, expect to win. But you want to. I trust my shoes. I've used the same running shoes. I have them custom made with my logos and graphics and whatnot. I have to be able to trust the bike. I'm now regretting selling my other bike prematurely. The previous Speed Concept, I did have other offers before I decided to go for this bike that would have allowed me to use whatever bars I wanted. But these were brands I was not used to. So I stayed with what I have always, ridden, which has been a Trek. My shop is great. They do everything they can to try to solve these problems, but without higher level support, it's just hard for them to, because I'm really, for the most part, the only multi-sport athlete like me in Stafford. So, they're great. They pounded the pavement. They did everything that they could. I really super appreciate everything they've done. But when you don't get the support from above for one reason or another, liability or whatever, customer satisfaction. And I know there's other Trek affiliated shops, around the world and country that place customer satisfaction above and doing what is right above, maybe someone seeing the bar before it's released, which we can see on the other professional bike. And that should be an identifier. If you look across the stable, the cockpit's being used on this across the rest of who is using it. They've all changed the cockpit. So that should say something. I'm saying it. They probably have said it, but I'm just I guess a lowly professional duathlete. So I just have to just deal with it, and I will deal with it. I'll spend my own money. I've spent almost hundreds of thousands of dollars on these tricks, my own money. I'll continue probably doing it, although now it gives me pause on whether I continue to support that company together. You know, there are other options. The Canyon cockpit could have probably been a good option to solve this issue. Multifunctional. You know, you can train the bar ends, you can raise the bar ends, you can train everything. They seem to have taken a lot of the cues from some of the other bikes, but they really left the cockpit. I want to place it as equal as the last one with the mono, because it's almost, they've added all this other versatility, but then they've left it. They left something on the design board, which probably was a question in the design process, but here we are. So I'll continue preparing for Clash Endurance. If you want to see more bike reviews, I'm happy to do it. Give me a like and a follow on this video. I'm very honest. At the end of the day, I want to make sure, because when you spend as much money as some of these are, that you understand completely what you're getting, and I'm able to do that. You know, you'll see other videos or it's exceptional. Well, I gave you the exceptional stuff, but then the big glaring letdown is the cockpit. So I'm going to see a bike fitter on Thursday locally here. We're going to try to get it figured out as best as possible. Maybe he'll have some options for me. I'm going to do a wheel review of the Envies once I put them on there. And right now I am going to go mountain biking for a couple hours to get off the road for a little bit. Down below you're going to see website links to my sponsors and partners. Speedhound, awesome company. Pick up their recovery system. I got a couple of the other things too. I've done a video on that previously. I'll put my code down below in the comments so that you can get some money off on that. Rudy Project, also awesome. I'm definitely digging the new shades with the photokinetic lenses. You know, they get darker when it gets sunny and they get lighter, which is really good when you're riding when it starts sunny, and then as you get closer to dusk, it's not, so they lighten up. Hammer Nutrition, all their products, obviously, being vegan, are exceptional for me. They power me through all these races and a lot of successes last year, and a lot of this, what I expect to be the same this year. If you're interested in coaching, TRC Performance Coaching, cycling, running, duathlon, that link will be down below. I recently had an athlete compete at the Sebring 24-hour race. Did exceptionally well. That is a tough race. Any 24-hour race or Race Across America race qualifier is tough. I don't know if I would want to do it. I feel like I would get bored, but he did exceptionally well, 335 miles in 24 hours. Had some hiccups, but every race is a learning experience, and then we move on to the next one and improve upon those experiences, gain experience, and we get better. Now, I've been racing for a while. I don't even though I coach and race, I don't venture to say that I have seen or know everything. So every race is a learning experience. We just have to take it as it comes, and react to how we should in the moment, or how we think we should in the moment, to try to get that win. And then obviously the last is Carla Mason Photography, the business owned by my wife. It allows me to kind of travel around and do what I'm doing. I do miss being at home. I'm being out here on the road. So we're going to get this race done, and then we're going to get back to Stafford. So let me know what you thought about this review. Do Do you have any experiences with this? Any machine shops you know that could help me? Any remedies you may have used on other dual tower cockpits like this so that I can plug in my own bars? Um, if not, that's going to be it for me today. I'm the Roaming Cyclist, and I am out.